Okay, so you want to know how to do a soft cost budget for a furnishings project. I will take you through what we do in our company and how I break things out, and I'm going to tell you all the things. So, some of you might use really fancy software, and it might look really jazzy and snazzy. That's fantastic, amazing, good for you. I do not have the patience to learn too many new things at this stage in my career, so good old Excel spreadsheets work just fine for this. So we create an Excel spreadsheet and we call it Furnishings Quote. We put the client's address, we put the date. Those are all very standard things in the top. I'm just looking at it on my computer past my phone here as I'm talking. And then we break things out per space. So I always like to start with the big areas and the big ticket items first. I get that out of the way. So we start with the living area. This is what the project is. So there's the living, the kitchen, the dining, the spare bedroom, and then there's some miscellaneous costs because there's other things involved beyond furnishings, and I will walk you through all that. When you look at this Excel spreadsheet, you'll see that the very first line item is the living area. Furnishings option 1. Usually we have more than one option to present to a client for all spaces. So I break them out option 1, option 2. We group everything together in that first option for the living area. So that's the whole section, first section there. Living area 1. We include everything from like sofa, chairs, coffee tables, side tables, floor lamp, ottomans, pillows, area rug. What else is on there? A floor mirror. And then some of these items might have freight included in the cost, depending on what the vendor, like where you're getting them from. And some of them you might have to add a line for freight at the end. And that's what I include in part of our miscellaneous costs. So whatever the cost is to the client, so the client price goes in option 1, living area. And then as I scroll further down this sheet, let me do that right now. Living area option 2. Basically the exact same line items, just different product. So this is option 2. Same thing, everything's broken down, the quantity, the price. So you've got option 1, option 2, big total, big total. And as I move down my sheet, I go into kitchen area. So for this one, we were just doing bar stools and replacing the pendant lights over the island. Have 2 options for stools, and I think, or 3 options and 3 options. I didn't do them option 1, option 2, because that's just more work. So I just grouped them into one, and I left a space in between. So it's very simple. And then again, quantities, total, or client price. That's next. Beyond that, we've got dining areas. Same thing. There's only 2 options for like dining table and dining chairs. So I just kept them very simple and left a space in between. Quantities, client price. And then we get down to spare bedroom. This one's very simple as well. There's not many things being changed in this room. So this is all in one section, and it's like the queen bed platform, the upgraded metal slats for contract grade, the open shelf nightstand, some artwork, bedside lamps, and I think that was it. So that's all listed out there. Then I get into, there's kind of, before I get to miscellaneous, I kind of lied, there's one more section. When you've got things like decor or wallpaper, just odds and ends that don't necessarily fit into like the living space. Maybe it's, in a different area of the home. You want to make sure that it's included in your scope. I just call this sort of like essential decor items, all areas. So you can group everything together that doesn't fit maybe under a living room or kitchen or dining room. Put it under this category here. And then I get into miscellaneous costs. And here's where I include things like additional shipping and freight. So if some of the vendors don't include shipping in their pricing and I have to price it separately, I'll put my totals down here. Delivery and setup, white glove service, that's an additional cost. So that goes under my estimated miscellaneous costs. I also have movers to haul out the existing furniture and dispose of it and clear out the space so that we can bring in the new stuff. That goes under miscellaneous. Painting touch-ups, because as we take furniture out and bring new furniture in, guaranteed there's going to be scuffs and dings on the walls, and I need to include a section where we have a painter come in and touch those up and make everything perfect again. Under this estimated miscellaneous cost, we also have electrical. So my electrician to go in and take down those pendant lights and put up new pendant lights. Art installation. So we have a tradesperson that comes in and puts up everything new that's going in. We don't do it ourselves. I'm not touching that. So that's included here. And then the client also wanted 2 new smart TVs. So that goes under here. So we've got living room, dining room, kitchen, bedroom, decor, just essential decor sort of for all areas, and then estimated miscellaneous costs. We tally all that up and then we get a furnishing subtotal. We have the estimated miscellaneous cost subtotal, and then I include taxes because There's nothing worse than a client getting one number thinking it's, 50,000, and then surprise, you send them the invoice and there's another $7,000 in I don't know what the number is, but $7,000, $5,000 in tax that they weren't accounting for. So I include at the very bottom estimated taxes. And I always have a little clause in these breakout sheets that says that these are estimated costs for the miscellaneous things, obviously, and that they could go higher, they could go lower. Client will be billed for them towards the end of the project. It depends on how long the project takes, but I always make sure the client is in writing that this is not a hard cost. This is fluctuating, and I won't know what the costs are until I get things ordered. We see how much damage is caused. The painter sends me the bill. There's all those things. So I have a total there, and I will take a deposit towards it, but the bill at the end might be a little bit different than what's on this sheet. And if you're not quite sure how much shipping will cost, you have to do a bit of research. You have to reach out to your vendors and get some quotes. If you're not sure what painting touch-ups will cost, talk to your painter. Tell him what you're doing. Get an estimate from him or her. Put all these little things together so that you have a really good snapshot of what this project will cost, and then you can talk to your client about the budget. This is a fantastic document to have at the beginning of a project when someone asks you, how much do you think a furnishing job is going to cost? You can literally break it out by room, by section, throw in some numbers, tally it all up, include some estimated costs at the end, for movers, painters, white glove install, art installation. Put together a little document and present it to the client that this is your budget range. And trust me, when clients can see this, it makes so much more sense to them. Instead of just an arbitrary number that's pulled out of thin air, they can literally see per item what their items are going to cost them. And it's just a fantastic way to communicate a furniture budget or to present the actual budget for a client once you've gone and sourced everything and priced it all out. I hope you found this really helpful. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can keep things very, very simple. And there you go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.